Alright everybody, hello and welcome as always. I am Sean. This is In The Mixer, episode number 7 of our Pentagon challenge. If you haven't gone and checked out the other episodes from earlier this week, go and check them out. You're probably going to get 2 episodes I think this week. We're going to cut back on that 3 episode a week schedule that we've been doing for the last couple of weeks, just because it's starting to take, I think, a little bit more time, and I want to start bringing you guys more of seasons. I know I said in yesterday's episode that we might come back mid-season. We haven't. We're through to the end of this year, mainly because it kind of became clear very quickly that we weren't going to pull up any stumps. We weren't going to do anything incredible that really you guys needed to be brought. It was just about trying to stay in the division this season and try and repair some of the finances and a whole bunch of different stuff like that. We've got a whole bunch to recap, including our final game of the season, and we'll do like a season review to bring you guys up to date with the squad, where we're at, what our challenges are. But without further ado, we're going to jump in and see how we've gotten on. So as you guys can see, first and foremost, actually you can't see it because it's hidden behind my head. So let's go into the big league table. We are down in 12th spot. Now that's well above where we were expected to finish, which was in this 16th place playoff position as far as the season preview is concerned. We have been pretty consistently good against the teams beneath us, but there are some teams at the top that we just can't get anywhere near. More on that in a moment. But as things stand, 33 games played, 12 wins, a record for Wuhan, 3 towns, 5 draws, 16 defeats, 57 goals scored, 58 against, -1 goal difference, and 41 points. The highest we could possibly finish is in 11th spot if we win our game and XX Zhang An lose their match. There were a few people, I think, on the last episode that called out some of the pronunciations I do. If I butcher any horrifically, please let me know in the comment section below how to say them phonetically, and I will try and work on that and get better throughout the course of this series. And longer we're in China, the easier that will become. We could drop as low as 14th if other results go against us and we lose our match as well. But it's been an up and down season. We have had players come in, we've had players go out, we've had loan signings that we brought in that then got recalled by their clubs because they were unhappy about whatever they were unhappy about. We've signed free transfers, we've let players go, we've tried to get rid of as much wage as humanly possible. I've still got players in the under-23s that I'm trying to get rid of. A few of these guys have contracts up at the end of the season, which will make it a lot easier. There's a few that we really need to try and get transferred out during this next off-season. So there's a bunch of stuff that we need to do. Twice, at 2 separate points in this season, our wage budget has been cut. It was first cut by about 30k, which put us underneath where I think we started in the last episode. And then at the same time, I think it then again got done by like another 50. So we're at -70k a week, which isn't necessarily our fault. We've stayed pretty much consistent on the contracts we've got. We've even got some players to agree to slightly less contracts, but longer term deals. This is entirely on the board for like just taking wage budget away from me. Thankfully, for whatever reason, if we go to our club info screen, Club Vision, they're not upset with me about that. Like, I think they're aware that I haven't actually increased the wage budget in any way. Like, I'm trying to bring it back down, and I'm trying to set a whole bunch of players for release at the end of their contract so that they'll go and sign with other clubs and we won't have to worry about it. They're happy we've avoided relegation. They're upset with the CFA Cup, reached the 4th round. We were knocked out by Heilong Jiang Bingchang, which I don't 100% remember this game, to be honest, but, you know, I'm not arguing the point. I'm sure we did lose to them. Grow the club's reputation they're reserving judgment for, and then repair the club's financial damage we're struggling in. I don't know what they're actually talking about there. I've only brought in players, if we look at our transfer history, on loan or on free transfers. I haven't spent a cent, and I've generated a little bit, 4.25 million. Yen, is it? I think it's yen. We'll go with yen, and if I'm wrong, by all means, correct me in the comment section below. That hasn't done much to help though. We're still -4.7 million underneath, which again, I don't feel like that's my fault. I think like when I came in, we were hovering around this spot and we've dropped down once and then got some got some sale money in June or July when the transfer window was open, and then it's kind of dropped down slowly after that. So I'm not sure what the change was. Maybe it's when they came up into the higher division, because they actually haven't been, this side is not available to manage at the start of the game. So if we look at the club history, they're in their 3rd season now in the 1st division. This will be the highest points total, highest wins total, most goals scored, and highest finish in the league, no matter what happens in today's episode. So maybe that's where like it started to go off the rails for them. They're just spending too much money to be in the 1st division. They're not sustainable at that level. Key performers for the squad, Lang Zhongwan, who you guys won't see today because he's injured at the moment and out for a good 7 to 10 months with cruciate ligaments. He's been our highest scorer, 19 goals for the season, playing in that pressing forward role. He's been quite handy. He's also our highest average rated player. Most assists, Lee Wei, who we've tried to get working on the right-hand side as an inside forward, hasn't quite developed the way that I would have hoped given the amount of football that he's played this season. And he's a lefty on the right. I always like those players cutting inside, but it just hasn't worked out for him. Meng Zhen, who's our Mazzala in midfield, would prefer to play on the right wing, but we're using him in the middle. Has our best pass completion, which is decent from a central midfielder. A few different yellow cards, a few different other players. We've got a bunch of high potential prospects, a few players that we're probably going to try and get rid of at the end of this season, and a couple of players I can't get to sign new contracts. This Erpan guy, you may remember him from the last episode, has called me nothing but grief throughout the course of the season, and now he wants like 30,000k a week, which we just don't have. And it's going to be a while before we get it, to be completely honest, based on the current financial situation. So comparative with the rest of the division, we might go and actually look at our next opposition, Meiju. And let's have a look at their playing squad. Okay, so I don't have current scout reports for everyone, but if I was to get them, their entire team is 5 stars comparative to ours. Their entire squad is potentially that as well, but their entire starting 11 is at 5-star ability compared to where we are at. They've even got guys that are unregistered in their squad, like Ricardo Goulart, we actually looked at as a free transfer in the off-season. They're paying him 135k a week, and he's not even registered in the squad. So I'm starting to figure out in China, in this second division, there's a big gap between kind of like the bottom half teams, the top half teams who have the money to effectively be poor in the Super League. And then once we go up into a Super League level and have a look at like Jiangsu, some of the wages here are absolutely ridiculous. So they're paying Sandro Tonali 560k per week, which is more than like a full month's wage budget at our club. Andrea Papetti they've got as well, 380k. They've got some very expensive and very talented players that they're paying quite a bit of money to actually keep on their books. And like their regen talent, this 19-year-old, he's 5-star current and potential ability. So like there's a big gap between us and the other teams. It might be a long-term save now to try and actually get into the Champions League and into the higher positions. We can also potentially do that by leapfrogging into other jobs, but I want to try and see out this season before we have a look at that. Maybe after this game, we will come back and have a look at what's currently on the job market and see how we can go from there. But more than enough from me. We've got a relatively threadbare squad. You can see there's quite a few knocks here, a few suspensions, a few players that you're not going to get to see, unfortunately. We're a little bit underdone going into the last game of the season as well, but again, it's a high potential squad. We're not going to worry too much about it. If we go tactically, we have mainly been playing with this possession-based style for the 4-2-3-1. Still a little bit gegenpressy, more than I'd like. But given the gap between like our talent and ability and wage budget and the rest of the teams in the division, like we've really been having to utilize just whatever's available to us at a particular time. So still attacking, still pretty positive, still pretty aggressive in the press. It just starts a bit deeper and it's a bit more direct in possession. And I think that's helped us out in a certain way. So we'll see how this one plays out today. Tactical meeting, I don't think I've ever paid attention to anything they've ever told me. Opposition instructions are set to my assistants and all that sort of stuff. But the lineup we're going to go with is Zhu King Hao in goal, who's been pretty decent for us, not quite at the 5-star ability and potential that he's got. Li Zikang will play at the right fullback. He wouldn't usually. We've got a loanee that plays there, but you're not going to see him because he's suspended. Wang Nan has been pretty well developed throughout the course of this season, it must be said. 20 years of age now, 3.5-star current ability, 5-star potential. Still not 100% confident as a central defender on defend the way we need him to be, but he has grown over the season. I will give him another year. I'll probably play him alongside Yang Jianmin next season as well, who's still only 19. Again, 3-star current ability, 5-star potential. I think that centre-back pairing could potentially, we can get another year out of at this level. Lei Yu at left-back, he's another high-potential youngster. Jiayu, or Jiayu, I think you'd say it that way. Jiayu, maybe. Butchering all of these. We picked him up during the June transfer window. He's been excellent for us as the ball-winning midfielder this season. Meng Zhen we already spoke about. Li Wei, Zhu Zhendong, who is a loan signing that we've got playing as an advanced playmaker. His club wants him playing as an attacking midfielder. He will no doubt get recalled relatively soon. Zheong Zhengyang will play on the left-hand side. Again, another backup player. And Erpan, that massive pain in the ass, will lead the line up front. All right, and as we kick off, they've immediately got a highlight. It's pinballing around in the box. That took no time at all. And we've managed to send them back a little bit, and we nearly won it back in midfield there. But they are working these triangles pretty nicely. Li Wei does recover possession for us. Wang Nan with the long ball forward, but it just gives it back and relieves the pressure a little bit, to be honest. Zhang Chiao on the left wing. Good ball in. It's cleared away. We're not going to get to the follow-up either. And already inside the first highlight and the first 3 minutes, we're under quite a bit of pressure here from them. They are guaranteed promotion as well. I probably should have mentioned. And they've scored here. Liu Zhengfeng with a goal back across the goalkeeper. It's a good header, actually. And to be fair to them, like they've absolutely dragged us around the park here early doors. Good ball from the left-hand side. Hung towards back stick. He gets in front of the defender. Powers it back across the goalkeeper. we might need to make a tactical tweak if they're going to tear us apart that easily, even when we're playing a little bit deeper. They are guaranteed promotion. They are in second spot this season. They will have an automatic spot. And I think it goes on. I think they could technically fall behind the team behind them if there was a big goal swing, but I think it goes on head-to-head at that level. We've just given away a penalty. So Jia Xiaoyu, who I spoke about in the preview, talking about his ability as a ball-winning midfielder. He's just cleaned out a player, and we are going to go 2-0 down inside the opening 10 minutes. And it's a good penalty. Huang Jiajun gets that one. I'm going to berate the team. We'll see how that goes. I don't really get that much feedback from it. Good penalty. Smashes it to the right-hand side of the keeper. This could be an absolute bloodbath, but at least for you guys, you're going to get to see some goals, and I guess that's a positive at the same time. Wide free kick towards back stick, flicked on. It's dropped by the keeper. Are we going to get it back in there? Long ball forward. So we've had one highlight, one shot on target, and the keeper nearly made something of it for us. Match ratings are pretty poor. So you know what we're going to do? We're 2-0 down. We've got nothing to lose. Let's go attacking for the rest of the match. Let's just see what happens with it. And then let's also fire out a demand more shout as well. Long ball forwards. Come back in here to Ji Bin, who's very, very good. And he nearly gets forward there. Ji Bin, remember that name, Ji Bin, because he's someone that I'd love to try and bring in on loan next season if we can. He's a pressing forward, and he scored about 23 goals or something like that since June. So he's an exceptional talent and above this division. Nearly at half-time, though, it stayed at 2-2. So we have, I think, gotten a handle in the game a little bit better since making that tactical tweak. XG non-existent on our end, 0.02. I'm going to say Thrash Arms, far from pleased. Everybody seems motivated except midfielders, but that's fine. We might look to make subs in that area if we can. Actually, truth be told, with only 4 on the bench, we're probably just going to make subs with the positions that we have available to make changes. I don't think we're going to worry too much about performance or condition or anything like that. It's the last game of the season. There's a backstick ball here if we can get it. It's fallen across, and I tell you what, Zheong Zhengyang, a wonderful assist there from Li Wei, switches it across, and we've pulled the goal back here in the second half. Potentially, if they've taken their foot off the gas at half time, maybe there's a bit of a window here for us to try and get something. Good ball back across. Zheong Zhengyang, lovely finish. Again, any pronunciations that I'm messing up horrifically, let me know in the comment section below. I don't want to make an enemy of China, believe it or not. But if that's just going to happen based on my own idiocy, then it's going to happen no matter what. So, ball out here in Anu, right-hand side. Just stand him up, boys. Zhang Yang wins it back and plays it forward to Erpan, who can turn on halfway. And if their defense comes across, there's a man back stick, and he's gone down in the box. Is that going to be a penalty? We may potentially be about to cause a bit of a boil over here if we can make this 2-2 from the penalty spot. It's going to VAR, which usually means it's a penalty. It's going to be Yang Jianmin to take, the left-footed centre-back. And he's gone hard to the left-hand side of the keeper, and it's a good effort. Second goal of the season for him. We might actually hit pause there. Good penalty again. All right, what subs can we make? All right, we've got a defender who can come on. Wang Nan is struggling a little bit for conditions, so he's the one that will make way. Li Jin can come on in midfield. Maybe for Li Wei, and then maybe we put Meng Zhen up to the right wing. And Li Jin comes in. We've got a left back that can come on as well for Lei Wu, who's not had a great game, 6.0. It's not the best. We really need to focus with this gegenpressing style on the condition more than anything else. And it's probably risky to leave 2 players out there on yellow cards at the same time. But we'll tell them we've got faith in them. 2 of them seem motivated. And let's also use a demand more shout. They've immediately got a corner. This could go terribly. Struck back in, and it's a good save from Zhu Qinghao. Or Qinghao? I don't know. Again, I don't know. We're just going to power through with all of these. We're not going to worry too much about getting the pronunciations right. Good ball towards back stick there. And now it's going to be a chance for Meiju to come the other way. Reverse pass, Ji Bin. We spoke about him in the build-up. It's an excellent finish, to be fair. 23rd goal of the season for him in the league, which is absolutely ridiculous. He has scored absolute buckets since he arrived. And checking this one out in 3 dimensions, the little reverse pass here is good. Puts him, and just that touch takes him around Jiang Bin, and he smashes it into the corner. That's the sub that we just brought on, by the way. That fresh defender that's just gotten turned, basically doing a pirouette by the striker there. Have we got enough in us to try and find another equalising goal? Wide free kick towards near post. I tell you what, if they get a second one, that'll be pretty much it for us, I would say. And to be honest, we've FM'd them a little bit. We've had 3 shots around target and 2 goals during that period. So I'm not 100% going to come out and say that we 100% deserve to get anything out of this game, but we're still going to have a crack at it. 10 minutes remain. We're going to use one more demand, more shout. What have we got left to show some character in the rest of the season? There is a highlight here starting from a goal kick. So we're in possession. Long ball forward to Meng Zhen. He's got some players there. Erpan's goal side, and he's got no angle to work with and gets his 8th goal of the season. He's been a massive pain in the ass throughout the course of the year, but it looks like he might, on the final day of the season, actually do something to try and get us some points against a very talented side. Erpan, lovely strike. Here's the challenge, right? Like, our possession-based style has worked quite well for us in getting like gritty points here and there and in away trips and whatever else. But now we're playing arguably one of the top sides in this division, and going attacking against them has seemed to pay dividends, which is interesting. It's not something I expected. It might be something that means we have to change tact a little bit next season going into these bigger contests. We're going to throw one more demand, more shout out there as we head into 5 minutes of additional time. But we're through that now, and the referee calls full time. It's a 3-3 draw. I'll tell you what, from being 2-0 down inside 10 minutes, not bad, but we have FM'd them a little bit. 23 shots for them, 10 on target, 2.67 XG, and 55% possession, 4-4, 1.08, and 45% for us. Yeah, I'd be annoyed if that went the other way, but I'm going to say what a comeback that was. Fantastic effort from everybody, and we will see how we go from there. So Wuhan Three Towns secure their best ever finish in the first division in 12th spot. Maybe we can get into the top half next season, the top 9 positions. Does mean Guangzhou City win the division by 9 points ahead of Meizhou, who still go up in that promotion spot. I think they would have regardless, even if we had to beat them. But for us, it means a 12th place finish, 2 points behind Chang'an, or Chang'an is how I would say it, based on pronouncing it, how it's spelled. And just 1 point ahead of QD Hainua. Yang Chen, Dongwu, and Lian Sheng go down. But let's jump forward and have a look at our end of season awards and recap. And here we go, Wuhan Three Towns end of season review for the 2024 season. It's actually the 2025 season, so I'm not sure why it's saying that, but that's interesting. It's got our free transfers there, our loan signings, whatever else. They're saying that Zhayu was our best free transfer signing. He came from Guangzhou. I don't know if he did. I think he was just a free transfer when we bought him. But a good finish. The border C+ apparently, which is disappointing. It feels like it's gone down since the last time I looked at it 10 minutes ago. Best win 4-1 against Nantong, who is a side that we had an interview with previously last off-season. Match to remember, a 2-0 defeat of Changfeng, one of the other relegation candidates, and goal of the season goes to Jiong Zhengyang in the 90th minute with an effort from the point 20 metres in a 3-0 victory against Yangchen earlier this season. Club reputation, national for both, or still national, it hasn't gone up or down one way or the other. Merch is not great, sponsorships down, prize money's down. How we lined up, we didn't line up in a 4-4-2 even once. Not even once did we do that. So I think the game's lost control a little bit of what it's actually saying. Fans player of the season though, Lan Xingwan. Young player of the season, Wang Nan, the centre back. Signing of the season is the ball winning midfielder we already spoke about. Goals, we've already seen all that sort of stuff as well. Decent, but we can do better. Initial budgets have come in, 160k per week and no money in the transfer budget. I think we're already spending over 160k, so really we need them to try and boost that as much as possible. I'm just going to accept the current vision. We'll see how that goes. And a season team meeting. Let's go ahead and say, I'm pleased we were able to avoid relegation this season. We're going to need to learn some lessons from it to make sure we're able to avoid relegation again next season, even if it might be via the relegation playoffs. Let's go with that. Seems a little bit optimistic to me. Okay. All right, I'll back down. Why not? Let's just try and keep them happy, because having them all hate me at the start of this season was a massive battle. They all head away on holiday. Some of them will not be coming back. Now, transfers in. I'm not going to take you guys through the off-season or anything, but I do have a pretty comprehensive scouting list that I'm currently looking at for both young talent, basically like players that are playing lower level football, or international football that are under the age of 20. I'm just looking to see when their contracts are up. If we filter by contract expiry, you can see there's quite a few players that are either already set for release or are going to have contracts that are getting left out of. We might even look at contract and if they're set for release, and there's a few that are already set for release that potentially we could bring in for relatively low wages. Again, they'd just be future prospects, but that's what we need at the moment. High potential, I think, is the best thing that we can try and gamble for this season. You can see we're still already negative 51 based on the new wage budget sent through. So hopefully we'll raise some funds by letting some players leave. The job market, is there anything out there worth going after? Changchun in the Chinese Super League. I'm going to risk it all here and maybe apply for this job. Am I going to get sacked? No, I'm not going to get sacked. And then we're going to apply for this JG United one as well. over in the K-League just for shits and gigs, and I'll let you guys see how we go with both of those applications now. All right, so jumping forward, I didn't get the JG United board list. And interestingly, they've mentioned that it's because I don't use set pieces that often, but anyway, whatever, that's fine. So jumping forward, you've actually made the start of the next year, which is great. My reputation has moved up to 25%. That's good. We're making some sort of progress there. I'm only up to a B license though. I need to try and get that kind of moving as well, getting those licenses as much as possible. Job Center, not much in news. I haven't heard from Chang Chung yet, which makes me think I'm not going to get it. There is another role in our division as well with Shenzhen, who... Did we beat them? We beat them once, they beat us once. So I think it's kind of a step up, but I don't know. Their finances are set as okay. The average wage is way higher than ours. I don't know. I'm not decided on that one. Well, actually, where are they expected in the season preview? 9th. We're down in 17th. So yeah, I don't know. It's not that much better, but we've got applications in at Seoul Eland in K-League 2, Seongnam in K-League 2, and Changchun in the Super League that we haven't heard back on. So we'll keep going. Okay, Changchun we haven't gotten, so that's fine. We'll see what happens with the 2 K-League 2 jobs. You'll note we've got a couple of trialees as well. I can't offer them all contracts. I'm still trying to jettison some players and generate some more revenue. All right, and I've just heard back on the other 2 jobs. Seongnam job application unsuccessful, and the other job for Seoul Eland unsuccessful as well. So I can't even make the jump to K-League 2, which is frustrating. I'm not going to worry about these other Chinese National First Division jobs. I think I want to try and give it another season and a proper off season with Wuhan 3 Tans, and we'll see how we go from there. But a lot of work to be done. All right, guys, the curtain comes down on another season, and that's fine. We're through 5 years. This was actually the first season we haven't won a league title as well, which is pretty interesting, I think, that we've started so strongly at the early part of these series. I do want to try and bring you guys more of the seasons as we go through them, but when it's like kind of a tough slog at the moment, trying to get our reputation up, trying to get up to jobs that are going to get us into the Asian Champions League, it's a little bit tricky. So I'm kind of wanting to fire through these early seasons as much as possible. So potentially when we come back, you'll probably only get 2 episodes this week because we might come back a bit later in the week, having done this season, show you guys the inclusion, show you how we're developing, and potentially go through a couple of different applications for a few different jobs as well. Because I think maybe we need to make the jump via a new job up into the Super League, and then maybe potentially once we're in the Super League, try and get a job at one of the big clubs like a Beijing, like a Changchun, Jiangsu, Shanghai Port, all those big clubs that are, you know, involved in the Champions League each and every year, because that's where we need to be aiming for at the moment. So maybe a little bit of a pivot in strategy, but, you know, we'll still try and bring you guys as much of the journey as humanly possible. And so far, I think everyone's been enjoying the series. I'm certainly enjoying it. Hopefully you guys are as well. Of course, give me your feedback, positive and negative, in the comment section below. I do respond to every individual comment that I get. If you want to support the channel that little bit more, you can drop a like on this video. It helps us get higher in YouTube search results when people look for Football Manager content. You can also subscribe to the channel to be kept up to date on this series and all of our future series as well. But more than anything, I just appreciate you guys watching. I've been Sean, and I'll see you all again in the mixer.